Welcome to Ringside Report MMA. I am Dave Simon. Tonight on the show, UFC Fight Island 6 preview. The Korean Zombie takes on Brian Ortega. Conor McGregor, Dustin Poirier announced for January 23rd. Is it going to happen in front of fans? And a big-time opponent steps up for Khamzat Chimaev. Ringside Report MMA starts now. See, I wasn't lying. The show starts now. Look at me. I'm Dave. There's Freddie and AJ. How about it? How about it? Welcome to the show. What's up, dudes?
What's up, man? I feel like so isolated.
Good, you?
Ridiculous. Can't take this shit anymore. I really can't. I can't. I'm flipping out, man.
I love the different reactions. Fred's like, good, cool. AJ, you just go on and on about how terribly you're doing.
Dude, it's not a joke, man. It's like we're going into we're still in the red zone here in Montreal anyways. Freddie is in the red zone for sure now because they went all crazy out in that part. And Monterrey is even worse. But, man, think about it, man. We're stuck. No jiu-jitsu, no wrestling, no nothing, no boxing. You can't do shit.
Yeah.
And here we're stuck. And all kinds of fights get canceled because of COVID. And sports, again, are getting, ruined. And, man, what the hell, man?
Well, we got UFC, we've got MMA. Things are constantly happening on that front, so at least you can take some solace in that. I know that things aren't back to normal yet. Things are a little weird where we live. We're in a hot zone, a red zone. Things are going a little wild. Yeah.
I wish it was a hot zone, man.
Yeah, it's not that hot, actually.
In the Netherlands.
It's been rough. They shut down the gyms. They shut down all the restaurants. Everything's shut down again. But at least we have some fights this weekend to watch. At least we have some fight news, some Conor McGregor news. And at least we have Ringside Report MMA here to entertain everybody with, AJ. Why you got to bring us down to start the show? Fred, AJ's such a bummer right off the bat. You're more upbeat. You're always in a good mood, always happy.
I was going to say, AJ, you'd be good for one of those Snicker commercials, where the guy's just saying a bunch of bad stuff, and then he gets his Snickers, and all of a sudden he becomes back to normal. You need a Snickers right now, AJ.
Yeah.
That's like Joe Pesci, man. That's exactly how I feel, man. I love Joe Pesci, by the way. One of my favorite actors of all time.
So grab a Snickers, man.
You are Pesci-esque.
Grab a Snickers and be positive.
You are a lot like Joe Pesci, AJ. Now, I want to talk about Conor McGregor and everything going on with him. Donald Trump tweeting about Jorge Masvidal. We should talk about that. That's pretty crazy.
What?
Trump is such an MMA fan. I heard Dana White interviewed on ESPN, and he was talking about Donald Trump and that knockout. The guy who kicked that guy. What's that guy's name? Apparently, it's the biggest knockout of all time. And Trump saw it. He was super impressed. What's that guy's name who did that highlight reel knockout?
Yeah. It was the tornado kick there. What was it called? I think it was Rob that was making comments about that. But
Joaquin Buckley. And they already got this guy another opponent.
Yeah.
He's fighting somebody else real soon. They're trying to bring this guy out. He made a lot of noise with that knockout, which was what? Was that only last weekend? Have we not done a show since then?
It was last weekend.
Oh, we haven't had a chance to talk about that. That was a hell of a kick, man.
But listen, not to jump too fast, but that was a hell of a kick, but that was a hell of a fight. Both guys were fighting so well, and it's unfortunate he kind of held that leg kick, and what's his name, Yakim, basically did that spinning tornado kick and clocked him. I mean, the sound on that was horrible. You knew the guy was out, but I'm saying just prior to that, it was a really good fight. These guys were really well-chiseled athletes, and they were very impressive, but what a knockout, man. Some people were saying it's the knockout of the year.
It was a very impressive knockout. It was kind of one of those things, though, that you throw, and you've seen guys throw something similar to that in the UFC before, but it never lands flush like that. It never lands to the point of a knockout. You've never seen it land like that. You've seen guys, get a kick caught and then kind of throw a spin kick and trying to spin kick out of it, right, and escape and maybe roll away. But this just, it was beautiful. It was a nice kick, but there was a little bit of luck attached to it, right? You got to throw a little luck involved in a kick landing like that. No, Fred?
Dave, no, man, no.
I mean, give it to the guy, man.
Sure.
Give it to the guy. He performed. He got the knockout. So don't call it luck, man. He did it. If anything, I'm gonna be more positive. Now, Dave, you need some positive in your life. But I'm gonna say, like, this guy, that was his second fight in the UFC. That's like a dream for any fighter to have like a highlight knockout like that early in your career. That's how you get your name out there. That's how people remember you. So good for the kid, and it was very one of the, like, some people have called it the nicest knockout ever. I don't know. There's been a lot of nice knockouts over the year, but it's definitely a highlight that is going to be played for years to come.
I mean,
listen. Look,
amazing.
Just
I hope the guy.
People are going to show it.
Honestly, man, if I was Kanye, I would send him some shoes too. You know, I mean, the guy's got some good feet, so send him some Yeezys too, man. Joaquin Buckley. The guy is amazing. What a kick. What a kick from that guy.
But did you notice something? The reason that he got like that elevation in a sense is that when Impa, that's his name, kind of hooked him to pull him out, he took that momentum, so he kind of lifted him up in the air. It was like it's almost like in cheerleading. They kind of like lifted to give him that support, and that's why he was able to turn that spin back kick, man. It was the perfect timing, and like Fred said, it wasn't lucky. He just got lucky that his opponent held him up, and he used that momentum to spin that kick. And I'm surprised that the guy is okay. Like the day after, he was talking and whatnot. But man, that's one hell of a kick. That's something that we're gonna remember is Ben Askren's knee and this like spinning back kick.
Yeah,
those are the two that come to highlight as the best of the year.
It might be knockout of the year. That thing was really, really wild. Beautiful kick, and everybody's talking about it. Like, everybody's coming up to me, oh, that kick, and I was like, yeah, it was cool. It's definitely cool. Shout out to everybody watching on the chat. Yukon Cornelius, I like that name. Woods MMA UK out in London. Helium Siam.
I know what that Yukon is.
You know Yukon. Lauren Cronish.
Yeah, man, the Irish.
Franco 316. Right. Jason wants a link to the Kanye song. It's just on Kanye's Twitter. Go scroll down on his Twitter feed. It's there.
It was actually pretty good, man.
Yeah, AJ, you were liking that, and you don't usually like that kind of music, so I'm glad to bring you up to speed.
Tagged to the UFC. No, but it was actually quite good, man.
Yeah, it was
That's
good.
what Trump has to come out to next. Instead of the YMCA song, come out to this.
And Trump apparently was talking to Dana White about that kick, and he was talking about how good Holly Holm looked the other night, and like Trump is fully into the UFC. And here's Trump. Look at that.
What?
Hold on. Let me see if make it bigger
Let's
for you.
see this.
Wop, wop, wop. That's Donald Trump's. Jorge, you're really tough and really smart. My great honor to have your support at Gamebred Fighter. That's Donald Trump's official Twitter tweeting about Jorge Masvidal.
Jesus.
Yeah, they're buddies, man. So not just Masvidal and Kobe Covington, like they're on the same page, even though they hate each other and want to fight each other for some reason. You know? It's weird. I don't believe that they really hate each other. I think that's all made up. I think that's all made up to sell tickets, sell fights. Not tickets, obviously. They don't sell tickets anymore. Or do they?
Listen, man, this president is definitely like supporting the UFC at all levels. It's ridiculous. It's crazy, man.
Yeah. He's, What
is Biden? What's Biden doing? What's Biden?
Yeah.
What's his choice?
What UFC fighters
choice?
is Joe Biden attached to? Like, do any UFC fighters, like, endorse Joe Biden? Is there a single one?
I'm not sure, man. It's a good point.
I haven't seen one come out in support of Joe Biden. I've seen many pro fighters come out in support of Donald Trump. I've seen them, called out by Donald Trump as really smart and tough guys, like Jorge Masvidal and Kobe Covington. Kobe got a phone call from the president after his last fight. I haven't seen one MMA fighter come out in support of Joe Biden. Is it because Dana White's such a big supporter of Donald Trump? I don't know. But I haven't seen a single MMA fighter support Joe Biden. It's weird.
I don't know, man.
I won't support Joe Biden, so I'm not going to hate on anybody else for not doing the same thing I'm doing.
I'm with you.
Don't go political, Ringside. Do not go political. But
no.
Who knows,
I don't support either guy.
Fighter.
I think they're both horrible. Go ahead, AJ.
No, but look,
Fred, yeah?
I was going to say, Trump, if anything, should be happy to have Masvidal in his camp because, like in the election, it's all about like identity politics and all that. So having a Latino voice that's pro-Trump, it's smart of Trump to send back some love to Masvidal. So I completely understand. Like, if anything, Trump should be happier to have Masvidal in his camp than Covington because, I mean, Kobe Covington's fans, they probably all vote for Trump already. Whereas Masvidal fans, they might not be voting for Trump all of them.
Yeah,
but he might be converting some.
But didn't he have Usman as well? Like, there was someone else there as
all
well
of
at
them.
that pro rally.
The entire UFC welterweight division. The entire division.
That's unbelievable.
Okay?
Including Holly Holm.
Yeah, including everybody. Like, everybody in the UFC. I'm pretty sure everybody that's signed to a UFC contract is a Donald Trump supporter. It's interesting, man. It's interesting.
It's like interesting times,
because
man.
You see in other sports leagues, people being very anti-Trump. UFC, total opposite. The majority of the guys, like you see the NBA, so many people anti-Trump, whatever. UFC, it's like, nope, we love the guy, and it's not like a racial thing or anything, There are Cuban or African Americans, there are white guys, all sorts of people in the UFC supporting Donald Trump. It's interesting. It's MMA. I wonder what it is about.
I support Donald.
Yeah, I know. It's strange. But I wonder what it is about MMA. This guy burst in and he supports him as well.
Who is that?
What do you think about Donald Trump?
He's a bad guy.
He's a bad guy?
Propaganda, Dave. Propaganda.
He says he's a bad guy. He knows.
That was classic, man.
He's a smart kid.
Now that is unbelievable, man. You only see this craziness on Ringside Report.
That's right. Children bursting in to tell you their political opinions.
It's unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Go ahead, AJ.
Man. But you know what? That brings up a good point. I'm waiting for that first fighter to support Biden. And to be honest, it has to be a current fighter, not somebody from way back or whatnot. But I wonder if there's any wrestling fans that are supporting Trump.
I think that a lot of pro wrestling people are against Trump. I've seen a lot of pro wrestlers against Trump, but a lot of them are for him, but they are not that vocal because it could get them heat, apparently, in the locker room because most of the people in the WWE, from what I understand, are not for Donald Trump.
Interesting.
But in a UFC locker room, it's strange. It seems like the UFC MMA as a sport is more pro Donald Trump than any other sports or sports entertainment league in the world.
No matter who they pull for, I love the fact that MMA fighters cannot be bullied. Where in other sports, people are gonna be behind Donald Trump, and they're gonna get shamed for it. Whereas in MMA, they don't care. You can't bully a fighter. So if anything, I love that aspect.
Yeah, I think maybe that there are a lot more pro-Trump people in other sports. They just don't want to talk about it because they're afraid. But then what are you going to do to one of these UFC guys?
Get bullied.
Yeah, they're going to get bullied, but you can't bully
from
a
the
UFC
radical
fighter.
left.
All right, take it easy, Fred. Take it easy. Fred's getting riled up here.
I mean, Freddie's got a point. You'll see that in football and whatnot. It's kind of interesting.
The radical
Listen,
left.
Maybe Trump will get you on his campaign rally. It's good for the ratings if we do. By the way, Dave.
I would
if
not
Freddie gets us to Trump. It's good for the ratings.
I would not
I'm gonna go. I'm going. I'm gonna dress up as Khabib for that matter.
You would both go. You'd be there, crammed into a room with a bunch of maskless people who all have COVID. Good luck. Good luck to you. You see how many people around that guy got COVID? Terrible. Oh, God.
Listen, man,
Good luck to you, brother.
No. Eat a lot of garlic, man. Eat lots of garlic.
What?
If Fat Trump survives COVID, and that other guy in Jersey there, Christie, also
they got the cocktail.
Those,
they got the antibody cocktail.
Sure.
Nobody's giving you the antibody cocktail, Freddie. I'm sorry to say. I don't think you can afford it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I did jiu-jitsu today.
Do what they did in the bubonic plague, man. Lots of wine and garlic.
Kayfabe on the jiu-jitsu today, Fred. You're not supposed to be doing jiu-jitsu. Kayfabe, brother. Jeez.
I didn't say what
you didn't do jiu-jitsu with any other people.
Dave, talk about jiu-jitsu. Did you get my text earlier today to give a shout out to like Jiu-Jitsu World that's hosting something here in Canada?
Jiu-Jitsu World.
Talk about jiu-jitsu.
What's Jiu-Jitsu World? Is that a store that I can go to?
No, man. Here, I got it right here.
Jiu-Jitsu
World.
World.
Probably say that.
We have gis and mats and all the shit for jiu-jitsu.
No. Listen, since like
I'm gonna open Jiu-Jitsu World. That's a great store, man. I'm gonna open Jiu-Jitsu World. I'm gonna get Renato Laranja at the opening.
I grappled Renato.
Yeah, man.
Did you know that?
Yeah, man. I know.
He was awesome, man.
I know
he
Renato.
Cut me down like you would not believe. I think Jason was there. Actually, Jason Morneau, that's in Mexico. I think he was at that seminar with.
So what's this shout out? What's this shout out about Jiu-Jitsu World?
Well, look, it's basically the Fight League Atlantic, who's a good friend of yours, Dave.
Oh yeah,
they're
okay.
Having like so they're having their Submission Live event happening this 24th of October. It's on pay-per-view, by the way. It's the Submission Kumite 1. Happening October 24th, pay-per-view, $19. You're going to watch over how many guys? I think there's 16 guys competing. It's the only jiu-jitsu we're going to get to see other than the IBJJF stuff that's happening. But if you wanted to watch pay-per-view, high-level jiu-jitsu in Canada, Fight League Atlantic is showing it. It's a 60-man competition with 5 sub-only matches that are happening. And you know what? It's a great organization. They have a great podcast. And I'll tell you something, that this guy Derek Clark from Fight League Atlantic, he's putting on a good show, man. He does all the MMA scene as well. But listen, man, we got to give a shout-out to Jiu-Jitsu because
where's this taking place?
In Quebec. It's taking place in the Maritimes.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
So why are they allowed to do jiu-jitsu and not us?
They have fewer cases.
No. I think it's because it's pay-per-view, so I guess it's going to be like a very limited amount of people in that facility, and the rest is going to be like us to watch, man. You know, you just got to pay for it. But you know what?
Yeah.
I think it's a great idea. It's a great, it's a great way to see some high-level jiu-jitsu happening here in Canada. And it's unfortunate because we had some great competitors here in Quebec from the likes of, you name it, from Lee Villeneuve, who won at the Abu Dhabi World Championships, to all the way across Canada where we had like some high-level jiu-jitsu guys. But since actually before COVID, we've had a problem with jiu-jitsu in Canada. First of all, making it illegal to compete, which has been the most ridiculous thing that we had to go through in the longest time. And then COVID really put a nail in that coffin. And I'm telling you, man, jiu-jitsu in Canada is suffering. And these guys that are hosting an event, at least it gives us some life to at least see that, you know what, we could get there again at some point. But jiu-jitsu is suffering terribly.
So
or
check them out.
For that matter.
Yeah.
Anything grappling.
Yeah, for sure. Check them out. Support them. Go to fightleagueatlantic.com for more info on them. Good guys out in Nova Scotia. I always like to support.
Derek Clark.
Always like to support jiu-jitsu and of course Nova Scotia as well. Love it out there. Wasn't able to go this summer because we were not allowed in, but hopefully next summer or at some point in the future. Let's get back to the MMA here, guys. I want to preview Ortega versus Zombie. That's a big fight coming up on Saturday. Cyborg is supposed to be fighting tonight. We'll keep our eye on that and the Bellator fights that are happening this evening. But I want to talk about Conor McGregor because that's the big story. That's always the big news. Big Conor, Mystic Mac, the man, he says that he is going to be fighting January 23rd. Dana White says he offered a fight for January 23rd, and I think Dustin Poirier is down. Now, here is Conor McGregor's tweet. There is Conor accepting. I accept. January 23rd is on. My goal is to see this fight take place in Cowboy Stadium. Proper style. Jerry Jones is a friend, and the stadium can hold our crowd. I will be ready for Texas, and Texas will be ready for my fans. Then Manny. Hashtag McGregor Sports and Entertainment. Then Manny, which means there. Manny Pacquiao. He's saying, next, which I don't know. But what do you guys think of January 23rd? It looks like the UFC is down. Conor's down. Poirier, I'm sure, is down. But in Cowboy Stadium, in front of people in Texas, is that going to be possible January 23rd? You say yes? I know they're starting to allow people back. I saw baseball had people in the NLCS, and that was pretty That was pretty surprising. I didn't realize that they were bringing people back into baseball stadiums, but I watched a baseball game the other day, and there was people there. So is this are we getting back to it? Are we getting back to normal? January 23rd. I know it's a big stadium. They could do social distancing. Do you do 20,000 people in a 100,000 seat arena? What do you do?
No, it's way more. In fact, the commission allows half the stadium to be filled, and the Cowboy Stadium holds about 80,000 people. So technically, you're allowed 40,000 people in that stadium. So if that's the case, and the commission's allowing it, January 20 will have 40,000 Conor fans. And let's not forget, man, Conor at his weigh-in packed in a group of over close to 30,000 people at one point. That was just his weigh-in. So Conor could bring 40,000. He could have filled up 80,000 easily if that fight would have been allowed. But right now, the commission, half the stadium, 40,000, it's going to get done, dude. It's going to get done. I thought it was going to happen in Miami, but now Texas is the place, man. Texas is the place.
Fred, you want to go?
A lot of places. Well, I would love to go. A lot of places are opening up. College football, some places are having fans slowly also. NFL, I think the Dolphins are talking about having fans. And I think even the Dolphins were talking about having the full stadium recently opening up. So a lot of places are going to open up. Here, don't take Quebec as an example, because we're one of the few places that actually reconfined. Everybody confined the first time, but the second time we're one of the few places that's actually closing down the second time. So I don't think we're the barometer or with our crooked government.
Why do we live in such a shitty place, Fred?
Vive le Québec!
We got a shitty government.
Listen, man, Freddie, actually it's 14,000 in Miami. They said that they can put in 14,000 max at Miami.
But they're already talking to have the full stadium soon. They're already having talks about it.
Look, if Trump wins, it might happen. I'm telling you. That's the only thing, because this guy is behind the UFC, and he's going to pull whatever strings he can to do whatever needs to be done to get the UFC on top of everything.
Johnny North is on the chat. Johnny says 21,000 max at the Cowboys games. 21,000 max.
The commission says half the stadium allowed, so you're allowed 40,000. In fact, 21,000.
Maybe for the football games, because for a UFC fight, you can use some of the football field for seats too, right? So I guess you could fit more people, but 20 extra thousand.
Yeah, it's 80,000 capacity for the UFC fight. But half,
you bring up something real interesting. If Donald Trump wins, for sure it's going to happen. If January 23rd is so far away, they'll have a new president by then, possibly, right? They might. Who knows what the rules will be if Trump wins or if Trump loses? It's all bets are off, man. Didn't he tell the people to? Fred, you're a member of the Proud Boys, right? Didn't he told you to stand down or stand by? Aren't you standing by just in case he loses? No. Fred, you're a proud boy, aren't you? Fred, you're the proudest boy I know. No.
I'm not sure what to say about that.
No, I'm saying, didn't he tell those guys?
Don't say much, man. You're gonna get hate mail.
I'm saying, didn't he tell those guys, maybe if the votes don't work my way, you fuck shit up a little bit? Didn't he kind of say that?
I don't think he even was close to saying anything close like that.
I saw some guys. I saw some guys saying that, Proud Boy guys on the internet. They were like, "Oh, if he doesn't win, we're gonna go bananas." I was like, "Whoa! That seems a little. That seems a little crazy, guys. You should relax, But who knows, man? Shit is dark.
I mean, sometimes you hear stuff, man.
I don't know. Say. You can't believe everything you see on the internet, especially from this show.
But you can believe in Kanye West, man, and his song. That's going to be a #1, man. That's a #1 song right there. I'm telling you. AJ's telling you. I love it, man. When you should hook up with Vanilla Ice, and then you'll become
why?
Like Oreo, and it'd be awesome, man.
Why should he hook up with Vanilla Ice?
You were talking to a presidential candidate. I know you think I'll be.
We're going back. Doing it again.
Don't jump, Anakin. I got the higher ground. I got the high ground. I'ma hit the. I don't need to sign a release. I'm a Frito, man.
He's a Frito. He's a Frito, man. What does that mean?
That was
Vote
awesome,
for Kanye.
man.
God, that's awesome. Yeah, vote for Kanye. Like, he's the only presidential candidate that I truly support. I don't support Trump. I don't support Biden. The only guy I support is Kanye. And I would rather, I know that he would make a terrible president, but I'd rather he be president than those two old guys. Okay? Those two old, corrupt white guys. Okay? Those
No. Hold on a
confused,
second. Ever since Trump
near-death jabronis.
No. Ever since Trump got COVID, he says he feels 20 years younger.
Yeah.
So
Because he's
like,
on
in his middle
steroids,
ages now.
bro. He's on the same shit you accused John Jones of being on. He's on all the picograms,
What?
man. They gave him picos and everything. He got the
Well, if
picos,
that's the case,
no?
maybe we should have some pico in us, man.
Yeah, man.
But you think so? You think they gave him steroids? He does look a
did.
little beefy lately.
They said
He
they
looks-
gave him steroids when he got COVID.
Jesus.
Everybody's on steroids, man.
Yeah, man. Everybody's on
Everybody's on
steroids.
steroids.
Nick Diaz said it, man. He knows. Nick Diaz said it way back. Way back.
Not George. George. Let's not.
I mean,
let's
they
not
put
out there.
they
Go ahead,
boosted they boosted Joe Biden of Adderall for that debate, probably allegedly.
What do you mean?
I wouldn't be surprised.
They gave
I mean,
him
Joe
Adderall?
Biden. They definitely his pharmacist deserves a gold medal for him not sounding like a senile old man.
Oh, damn. Fred's bringing it again. He's bringing his talking points. Fred's got all the good right-wing talking points that I love. Fantastic.
I'll tell you,
Shout
man.
out to Patrick C. Hamilton dropping the super chat. We appreciate you, Patrick. He says he's our #1 fan. I believe it. Love
Pat
you,
is
Patrick.
awesome, man. Where's Pat from again? What part of is he?
Regina.
From Canada,
Regina,
right?
Saskatchewan.
Regina,
He's a
man.
Canadian. Canadian just like us,
Stampeders.
brother. Go Stamps?
Too bad the guy that fought last week didn't do too well. What's his name?
I don't know. Buller?
Bowler, yeah.
Mike Bullard didn't do too well last week. Fucking Mike
It was a
Bullard,
rough
man.
one, man.
That guy sucks.
Mike Bullard.
Fred, you know who Mike Bullard is?
I think he used to be a player for the Rockets
No,
in
man.
the NBA.
No, AJ, you know Mike Bullard?
Yeah, wasn't he a politician or some some vedette on television at some point?
Well, which is it?
What? He was both, man. He was doing
He
both.
was a talk show host on
Exactly.
Canadian TV. Fucking
Yeah.
Mike
This way
Bullard,
back.
bro. Mike Bullard,
Yeah,
man.
he was
The
so
fucking,
funny, man.
Fucking Mike Bullard show.
What's he up
I did
to?
not
I
like
always
like
that.
say I'm
Biden
an
on the
American
left.
at heart, man.
Doesn't
I
he?
wasn't-
I
Put
don't
it back,
listen
Dave.
to-
Dave, put it back. Dave, put it back. Look, Freddie, look to the left. There you go. You know who he's supporting to the left?
It's Mike Bullard.
It's Joe Biden, my friend. That looks like
That's
Joe
not
Biden.
Joe. That's not Joe
100%.
Biden. It's Mike Bullard.
Man, it looks like Biden to me, man. I don't
You're a
know, man. That
senile
looks like
old man.
Biden. Looks like
Yeah, looks like AJ to me, actually. AJ without the hat on. It kind of looks like you, dude. I don't know, man. Without the beard, without the hat, you look like Mike Bullard today.
I got more hair than that. Come on, seriously.
On your head?
I use Rogaine.
Do you?
What? Why don't we get sponsored by Rogaine? That would
You
be
use-
awesome. If
you
Rogaine
use-
sponsors us, I'm using them.
You use the knockoff Rogan. It's not working for you. It just makes you
That's
say
why we needed
crazy a
Manscaped.
lot. Yeah.
No. But that's why we needed Manscaped to come in and help with that problem. But I swear,
Yeah.
man, if Rogaine
That doesn't
becomes
look
a
like
sponsor
Joe
of Ringside
Biden at
Report,
all,
I'm
by
using
the
it.
way.
No, it looks
Come on, what are
nothing
you
like
talking
Joe
about?
Biden.
Did you see Joe Biden with his glasses lately? There was a whole skit on him.
No. Mike Bullard.
You didn't see the one with?
It ain't, I'll tell you this. It looks more like you, AJ, than Joe Biden. Way more.
No. It looks like Jim Carrey on the Saturday Night Live representing Biden. It looks like, come on, are you kidding? Do I look
AJ,
that
since
bad?
you mentioned them, I think it's a good time to mention our good friends and our sponsors, Manscaped. Go to manscaped.com. Use the promo code Ringside20 to get 20% off your order plus free shipping. AJ's looking a little scruffy up top, but I know down bottom everything is nice and clean and smooth as a whistle. It's nice because he's Manscaped. I don't know that exactly. Fred's freaking out. He's like, how do you know that, Dave? AJ sends me pictures, okay? AJ sends me
I
pictures.
said a lot of stuff.
Fred,
Well, talking
you know that-
about pictures, man. I got my vasectomy tomorrow, like I've
Oh.
been telling you guys.
Whoa.
And they,
Fred,
they
why
got
are you
this
doing
little
that? I told you
video
not
where
to
they
do it.
tell you what. Of course I'm doing it, man. Come on, man. But they got this little video to prepare you, and they tell you, like, you got to shave. And, like, they tell you in the video, they say, like, if you get there and you're not shaved correctly, they're going to send you back home. So now I'm kind of scared.
Wow.
Like, I don't want to get sent back home without my vasectomy. So, you see, you talk about picture. There should be a service where I could just send a picture and go, like, am I shaved correctly?
Well, Fred,
Don't
you know
you
what you
think
need
so?
to do? You know what you need to do? You need to go to the vasectomy place
Jesus.
with your Manscaped Lawnmower 3.0 because it's not a big thing. It's sleek. It's portable, and you don't need to plug it in. So if they say, "Hey, you're a little too hairy there on your balls," you go say, "Okay, excuse me," and then go back, shave your balls a little bit with your fantastic Lawnmower 3.0 that you can take anywhere with you whenever you need it, okay? You get the Lawnmower 3.0. It is the best shaver out there. You won't get nicked, and if you're in a hurry, you can just go zip, zip, zip. No problem. You'll be totally fine with the Lawnmower 3.0. Get it right now at manscaped.com. Use the promo code Ringside20. You'll get 20% off your order plus free shipping, and we'll get a little kickback here to help support the Ringside Report Network. Fred needs money because Fred has a bunch of kids, and Fred's getting a vasectomy so he can stop having many kids all the time.
Actually, I think AJ needs more information. And as far as me and my girlfriend, for the past week, we've been playing Russian roulette. So, you know, if anything, maybe there's another kid coming. We'll figure out over time.
Let me ask you one thing. In that kid,
but this video also told me. Yeah, go.
Yeah. That video that you saw, the kid, whatever, tell me that there's something that says that it can be reversible. Is there something that says you can attach the hose back?
It is reversible, but it's very painful, supposedly. It is reversible, but it is extremely painful.
It's like getting a tattoo removed. Apparently, the removal is worse than the tattoo.
I thought you were joking about this stuff, man.
Once you do the vasectomy, also, you got like 45 times that you need to come where you still might impregnate somebody.
What?
So, like, you need to bust 45 nuts to after that
so you gotta
shooting blanks.
Are you going to count?
It's kind of like Dana White with his 45 fights that he has to do before December 31st. So if we would have timed it perfectly, we could have done a countdown and pop a bottle of champagne on number 45.
I would totally count them down, but when you get to 44, just be like, save it. Save it for like a special occasion. You know what I mean? Because like I only got one really good one left, baby. Save it, you know?
What are you going to do? Like, put it in a Ziploc bag and store it, man? Seriously, Freddie?
Yeah. Freeze it. Freeze the last nut. You know, this is the last one, just in case.
I won't do that.
Wow. Wow. Are you going to count them down, though? Are you going to count them down, Fred? You got to count down if you know you have 45.
Probably. I'll try.
Yeah.
Try to remember them.
And no, keep a count and like every week update us if it really lasts a week, because I know you're a very virile man, so I can see in a week, you know.
Listen, I could put it on Instagram if you want. Like, we'll do a celebration knockoff. Pardon the pun.
I wonder how long that would take you. 45.
45 with Freddie. Maybe like I'd say I give Freddie maybe like 4 days.
Come on.
That's crazy. That's a lot.
I'm 43 right now.
Fred, keep us updated because now it's part of the show. So tell us how many you're at next week. All right, tell us how many.
Well, I got to take 7 days off. So next week I'm going to be at 45. So there's a 7-day rest period, bro.
And you're getting your vasectomy what tomorrow?
Tomorrow, 2/25.
Wow.
I already bought the frozen peas.
Oh man, well.
Jesus, Freddie, at 2:25, I'll be thinking of you, bud. I'll send you. I'm gonna make sure that I send you a message at 2:24.
Tomorrow, I want you all at 2:25 p.m. Eastern on Friday, October 15th, or Friday, October 16th, rather. Let's all think of Fred's balls, okay? Let's all think of Fred's balls tomorrow afternoon, okay?
You know what? Manscaped should do a plaque for Freddie. You know what?
Yes.
Like, how many guys that promote Manscaped do what Freddie's done?
Well,
Freddie
they helped me a lot today.
Shaved. You see? Look at that. That's a real commercial. None of that bullshit like, oh, I use Manscaped to look good because I want to go on the beach. Freddie uses Manscaped so he can have his nuts chopped off and have no more kids. Who does that shit? Nobody but Freddie. Only on Ringside Report. And Fred, I swear to God, I thought it was a joke this whole time that you were saying.
What other MMA show would do a detailed Farewell to Fred's sperm. This is a special episode of Ringside Report. You may not know, but this is the farewell episode to Fred's potent sperms. We're saying goodbye.
Mazel tov.
We loved you, and we will miss you, Fred's potent sperms. The Ringside Report universe salutes you.
Freddie, I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna reach out to Conor, since we're talking about Conor this whole time, and I'm gonna ask him to send you a case of Proper 12, because if anybody needs it, you do, my friend. And actually, I need a bottle right now, because I swear to God, my legs have been like squeezing together. I'm like freaking out hearing this shit, dude, man. Italians and their balls.
You better do it, AJ. You better do it, AJ. You won't survive a second kid. You were telling us how much the first one is stressing you, so you won't survive a second one.
That
He's
kid,
right.
I'm telling you,
You're
man,
right.
that kid is like Superfly Snuka. That's all I call him Superfly now, because the kid, all he does is jump, flies, and lands. I'm telling you, man. I hope the PDG doesn't come and see me, because I'm telling you, this kid he's going to be a pro wrestler. I can feel it.
Cool.
This is the next Superfly.
Yo, your son and my son could be a tag team. My son wants to be a pro wrestler, too. He's going bananas. Oh,
well, then
my
Freddie
goodness.
we could do like, hey, is there ever there's a 3-man team in wrestling? Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Was it the British Bulldogs? How many
They
were
could be
there?
the
How many
New
dogs
Day.
were there?
2. There was only 2.
There's
I
only
don't
2
want a
dogs?
vasectomy. I don't want one ever. I'm scared to. I don't want anything medical on my nuts. No, thank you.
Well, you know what? Let's think about something related to the UFC here. How many guys
I'm
get
just
kicked in the
scared.
nuts
Fred's
in,
just
like,
brave. I'm afraid. Fred's got balls of steel. He doesn't care.
I'm gonna do the same thing I do every day when I have a problem. Smoke a big joint and hope everything goes well.
It's
It's worked fine for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it works
Wonders.
very well. It works very well.
So back to
AJ?
what I was saying, like, look at these guys getting kicked in the nuts in the UFC. Like, do you think that does damage, like, at some point? Like,
Yeah.
Think
Yeah.
about it. Like,
It's
there's
not
got to
good for
be
you.
some. No, like, maybe that's, instead of getting, like, snipped, Freddie, just get kicked in the nuts, like Shaolin style, and then that's it.
Yeah.
But a scissor to that, I don't know, man.
Ouch.
Is it a scissor or
shout
laser?
out
What do they do?
shout out to Antoinette dropping a super chat, says, "Wow, that's too much info." She is she's like, "Am I at the right show
Antoinette.
here?" She's like, "What show are we watching?" Yeah, we should talk about Conor McGregor. Like, I did mean to talk about Conor at some point, right? What happened? What about Conor? Isn't he fighting? Is he fighting January 23rd? We talked about it. Are we
Dustin
done?
Poirier.
Are we done with Conor? Dustin
Well,
Poirier
I
the
hope
fight's
it
happening?
happens.
No.
It's the fight that makes sense for Conor. I mean, it's either that or a Diaz brother, like I was saying. But the Diaz fight is always there further in time.
Mm-hmm.
Dustin Poirier makes sense. He needs to win, though. Conor needs to win because he's a little bit too inactive. He won his last fight against Cowboy, but I think a lot of people saw that as beating a guy that was way past his prime.
Whoa,
Poirier,
whoa there, Freddie.
Well,
Fred's right.
Cowboy was past his prime. Come on.
Yeah.
Cowboy was past
What?
his prime.
Yes.
Poirier, he's still in his prime. Poirier's a solid fight. McGregor's defeated him before, so there's a storyline there. I like it. I hope it happens, and I hope it happens in front of fans. Like, I'm down for it. And stop talking about Manny Pacquiao after. I don't want to hear nothing about that.
It might happen.
That's gonna make
Why
me.
not?
That's gonna make me pull for Poirier. If Conor goes like I'm fighting Pacquiao next, then I'm all on Team Poirier. Come on, Poirier, knock his dreams out.
Is there anything that makes you think Dustin Poirier has a better shot now than he did in 2014 when Conor finished him in under 2 minutes?
No.
Look,
Me neither.
let's think about it.
That's what
Look,
I don't
Conor,
like about this fight. The only thing I like about this fight is that Conor's fighting. Dustin Poirier, like, I understand since that fight he is an improved fighter, but
Is he?
he's also been through a lot. I don't know. He won a bunch of fights since then, but,
Yeah, but think of the
older
journey.
also.
But think of the journey.
he's only
of Dustin
31.
Poirier.
He's not old,
But think of the journey, man. Like, I'm telling you, Conor's doing him a favor. You know what? Because Dustin would not get any payday like he's gonna get with Conor, and Conor knows that. Conor likes Dustin. He's seen his rise to the UFC from like the beginning. Like, if you've seen like Dustin Poirier's career from the beginning, man, they made a movie about it. The guy is awesome. He's a super nice guy, and you know what? Conor's doing this guy a favor. Will Conor beat Dustin? Absolutely. Is Dustin going to walk away with a lot of money so that he can retire and live in peace with his family? Absolutely. How many more fights does Dustin have?
Yeah.
How many? That's the thing. So
I don't
Conor
know.
is actually doing him a favor. Believe me.
Yeah, well, that's it. It's a favor. It's a favor. He's going to donate money to Dustin's charity after the fight. He's already said it. This is a charity fight. He beat Dustin early in his career, and now he's going to beat him again. Since Dustin Poirier fought Conor McGregor in 2014, he has won 10 fights. He won 10 fights, and he lost 2 with 1 no contest. But
he's also been in a lot of wars.
A lot of wars. But he did beat some top guys. Like, he beat Pettis. He beat Gaethje. He beat Eddie Alvarez. He beat Max Holloway. Like, he's beat some good guys. He's a top fighter. He got smashed by Khabib, but who doesn't get smashed by Khabib? But just the way Conor disposed of him the first time, I do think Dustin is a better fighter today. I think Conor probably is too. And Dustin's just not better. He's not that much better to be better than Conor in 2021. I just don't see it. I think he gets knocked out again.
Is Conor really better?
I don't know. I think
He's been so inactive.
I think he's a better boxer. I think his hands have improved. I think that he was a good boxer before, but I think he's better now. I think his movement is a little bit better. I think he's a little bit better defensively. I think he's a better fighter technically now than he was in 2014. I think that Mayweather fight definitely changed his boxing game. It made him a much sharper boxer.
No. Wait. Listen, and you know what I'm going to say on that. It didn't just change his game. He was already able to go 10 rounds with Mayweather. The best boxer, but you know what I'm saying? He already had good boxing skills. And you're right. He's just
but he prepared.
Experience.
I'm saying the preparation, boxing preparation for the Mayweather fight made him a better striker in MMA. It did help his skills.
But think about it. He fought Mayweather. That happened. That was real. He's going to be calling out Manny, and that's going to happen, and that's real. Just think about it. Here's this guy that's fighting
might call out
two of
Khabib.
the legendary. Well, Khabib is going to be in 2021 at some point in the summer. We're going to see that fight happen if Conor is able to stay healthy. And the thing is that here we got a guy in MMA that's fighting two legendary boxers, and it's going to happen. Manny Pacquiao fight is going to happen. It's going to be a payday.
It's funny.
And you know
because
what?
When?
Well, I'm thinking. Look, when I first said, like on our show a couple of weeks back, I said Conor needs to fight before the end of 2020, and that's what he wanted. He started pulling out that whole thing with Dana, saying, "I want to fight before the end of this year, so that he could prepare himself to fight Manny Pacquiao in January."
Yeah, I understand.
Things didn't work out.
That's not happening.
But,
so he's going to fight Poirier in January. You just said Conor's going to fight Khabib in the summer, which I think is not happening at all. But then you're also saying he's going to fight Manny Pacquiao. So, because Khabib said you have to. Khabib said last week on ESPN, he's not fighting Conor. It's over with Conor. He's a stupid guy, and he wouldn't do it for $5 billion. He said $5 billion. He's like, you could give me $5 billion. I'm not going to fight Conor McGregor. They're not doing it. So it's not happening. It's dead in the water. Khabib, if he beats Gaethje, fights GS motherfucking P, okay? That's the fight to make. And yeah, sure, Conor maybe fights Manny Pacquiao, maybe he fights Nate Diaz, maybe he fights whoever, but I don't think that Khabib fight is going to happen in the summertime. But you, AJ, are predicting Khabib and Manny Pacquiao in 2021 for Conor, and I'm just trying to figure out the scheduling because he can't fight him at the same time.
Look, this is what's going to happen. If Khabib does not fight GSP, which is probably the fight that everybody wants to see.
It's got to happen.
But if that doesn't happen, Conor is going to be there at some point in the summer. He's going to be fighting Manny Pacquiao in February. He's using the Dustin Poirier fight as a warm-up to fight Manny. I'm telling you, he's going to be in top shape, ready to go 12 rounds with Manny. And then here comes Khabib. If Khabib doesn't lose and he doesn't get that GSP fight, he's going to go after Conor. And that's what's going to happen. There's a history here. Everybody wants to see this fight. Everybody wants to see that fight. And if everything sort of goes down with COVID and we can put a packed stadium, imagine where that fight can take place. It can happen at Cowboy Stadium, and it can fill up 80,000 fans to see Khabib versus Conor, like that. And at the weigh-in, they'll probably get like 40, 50,000 fans. So, like, let's be honest, man. Everybody wants that fight, and Dana probably wants it more than anybody. The thing is to get GSP,
he doesn't
man.
seem
We
like
need GSP.
Dana doesn't
He's
seem like he wants
old,
it.
Bud.
Dana doesn't seem
But
like he wants
GSP
it,
is
and
40.
Khabib doesn't want it. So you don't
I
think
don't
that
want it.
GSP? Yeah, I don't want to see Khabib and Conor either. I want to see GSP and
I do.
Khabib. More than GSP?
I just saw something come in from Patrick.
Yeah,
He
AJ,
says, I don't
answer the question. AJ, answer the question. Do you want to see Conor fight Khabib over George?
Yeah, I do.
Why?
I
Why?
do.
We've seen
Why?
Conor
Because-
before. George is unknown against Khabib. He's a different challenge. Why would you rather see Conor? That to
Look,
me is
I
ridiculous.
want to see. Listen, no, it's not, because Conor is, in some aspect, he's more the active fighter. He's more in his prime. He is now. This is the difference. I want to see now fighters. I love George. George is the greatest fighter out there, but George is not a now fighter, and that's the difference. I want to see people who can fight, and we're really going in there to fight. And Conor doesn't need to go fight. He has more money than all George and Khabib and everybody put together, but he's going there to fight because he likes the game. He's in his prime, man. He's fighting Manny Pacquiao. This guy's training like crazy, so this guy is ready to fight. George, it's always a question mark, dude.
What?
It's been a question mark.
Go to his Instagram.
Yeah, I looked.
You see what he's doing? He's always in
Let's see.
shape, always in camp, always training.
But that's
I'm gonna
normal
go.
George. That's normal
Exactly.
George.
He's ready. Normal
but
George
he hasn't
is
fought
Superman.
since Bisping.
So?
Yeah, but he hasn't fought since Bisping, man. Come on.
Oh, wow. You're doubting George now?
Look, if it's
AJ,
going
you know
I was hoping that
we
it
could
would.
call him and tell him. We can call him and tell
Let's
him what
call
you're
it
saying.
George.
Oh.
Let's do it.
Oh, AJ.
Let's call George, man.
You don't want
Let's
it.
call George.
George is going to
let's
hear
call
about this.
James.
We don't have to call him. George watches the show. George is going to know, okay? He might not be watching live, but I know George is watching eventually. And George's people are watching. They're going to hear that AJ was saying these things, that George can't beat Khabib and
Listen,
Conor's
George.
got a better shot.
Don't kick my ass,
Ridiculous.
man. I'm just saying it as it is.
George
But
will
I mean,
kick your
Conor,
ass.
AJ.
Conor agrees with me.
You're Mr. like hype man for Conor. Like you're always, yeah, Conor's gonna do this. All these possibilities that you mention of him fighting Pacquiao, I'm not interested. I don't want to see that. Khabib, I mean, Conor needs to win a couple of fights. There's other matchups for Khabib, and Khabib himself doesn't want to fight Conor, so he needs to think of something else. So, nah, I don't know. I'm not as high as you are on Conor, and right now, Poirier makes a lot of sense for Conor. That's the matchup that makes sense for him. And if he beats Poirier, well, from there we could see what's available. But I'm not giving him nothing like you already have like his next 3 fights scheduled. I'm looking at one fight at a time. Beat Poirier, be impressive, and we'll see when you're ready to fight again. Because for the past couple of years, you're offering us 1 fight a year, barely. So I don't know. Not high on those Conor options you're giving me. Khabib, Pacquiao.
Yeah, I don't like those options either. Look at that man.
Hey, what is
That's
this, Cirque
George
du Soleil
St.
or
Pierre.
what?
He's flipping around. He's ready. He's athletic. He's ready to go. This is just a couple of days ago on
What
his
is that, a
Instagram.
casual spar?
George
What
is
is that, a
ready.
casual sparring
These
tournament
are the
here?
fights that have to happen if Khabib beats Justin Gaethje. Khabib versus GSP. Conor McGregor versus Tony Ferguson. Let's go. Stop fucking around. Give me the big fights. Conor McGregor, Tony Ferguson is massive. And if you don't want to do that, flip it. GSP, Conor, Khabib, Tony Ferguson. Let's go. That's
Now,
those
that
4
could be
guys.
interesting.
Those 4 guys, any
That could be
combination.
interesting.
Well, not any combination, because I don't really care to see Tony and George and Khabib and Conor. Although Tony and George would be a crazy fight. It's just not going to happen. But Khabib and Tony, or Khabib and George, those would be great fights. So give me that.
Well,
give me a
those are
George
all
St.
money
Pierre
fights.
fight
Those are real
when
money
it comes out of this. But, of course, if Gaethje wins, he fights Conor. Conor gets a title shot. Like, that, to me, seems obvious. If Gaethje wins and Conor beats Poirier, which he will, then Gaethje goes and fights Conor because, that's what Gaethje's going to want to do to get that money. Right? Anybody doubt that, AJ? Fred knows that makes sense, right? Fred?
Yeah, it makes perfect sense. And I probably think that GSP, he must be pulling for Khabib in that fight, because if Khabib were to lose to Gaethje, that pretty much puts George back into retirement, where like who is he gonna fight? So if anything, George is pulling for Khabib, and Gaethje, he's a dangerous guy, man. It could still I could still see him cause a surprise. I'm picking Khabib. I think his wrestling is gonna be too much. He's gonna put Gaethje on his back, and he's gonna hurt him like he does most of his opponents. But you never know.
Yeah.
But Dave,
Gaethje is tough, man. Gaethje is tough. Right now, he's sitting at a minus 280 favorite. Khabib, Gaethje plus 240, the underdog. Gaethje's tough, and he's got a shot. I think smart money is with Khabib, but, man, it's a good fight, man, because Gaethje has some tools that could really pose some problems for Khabib. If he defends a few takedowns, it's going to be big-time problems for Khabib. AJ, I'll let you tell me something in a minute. I just want to shout out Patrick C. Hamilton asking us a question on the Super Chat. He says, has there been a show where you haven't talked about Conor? Nothing seems to be real with him. That's true. And it does seem like we have to talk about Conor every show because there's always something going on with Conor. But I'll tell you, the show started in 2006, and Conor made his UFC debut in 2013. So there were several years of Ringside Report shows where we didn't mention Conor McGregor once. We didn't even know who he was. Okay? I never heard about this guy until he fought Marcus Brimage.
There was no ratings back then.
Yeah, that's
Come
right.
on, Dave.
We had
Conor
no AJ.
brings up ratings, man.
We had no AJ. We had no Conor, man, back in the old days. I don't even know if we had Fred.
No,
back
and
then.
Freddie, too.
No Fred.
No, Freddie was, I don't know. No
Right?
Fred, man.
Fred, you're part of the Conor
Not
era.
yet.
You're like a new UFC fan. You're a Conor. You're a bandwagon jumper.
No.
Fred's been around
man.
since.
But
Fred's
listen,
been around since the old days. Since
the days of what? Bill Clinton?
No.
Or
Well, yeah.
Bush?
Yeah, well, UFC 1, Fred was around. He's been watching since the jump. AJ, you've been watching martial arts since the caveman days. You were there with the Japanese guy that taught Helio Gracie jiu-jitsu back in the early 1920s, I think. So you're
Conte, yeah.
You're the OG
Yeah.
of OGs.
Yeah.
Double OG.
The count, yeah, Conte. But listen, I'm gonna say one thing. I did see UFC 1 live. I did see that fight, and that was like way back. And that was like, I'll never forget that day, or leading up to that UFC 1. There was so much hype going into it, and all like martial art clubs, and like back then, and like, with
why are you
Kung
talking
Fu
about
clubs
UFC
and all
1?
that kind of stuff.
What
Because
happened
you
here?
were going back to the caveman.
No. We're talking
listen to me,
about.
but here-
I don't want to hear AJ's history lesson.
Oh man, it was awesome, dude. And this is where I'm trying to get as UFC 1 to where we are today with Conor. Who would have thought, dude? The biggest thing back then was Gracie, and the biggest thing today is still the Gracie system. So you know what? It's incredible.
It is amazing
And it's
to
all
think
Conor.
how far
It's
the
all Conor
sport
now.
has come. How far the sport has come, how big the sport is. It's ESPN, it's mainstream, it's everywhere. We're back in those days when AJ was a younger, older man. Back in the original days, AJ was like, you couldn't find it on
a young
pay-per-view.
spring chicken.
It was banned from everywhere. I remember when I used to go rent the videotapes of the old UFCs, and it was like really hard to find. My mom didn't want me to rent the tapes. She let me watch the wrestling
What?
stuff, but
Why
she's
not?
like, she didn't want me to rent the UFC. It took like a lot of badgering to get her to let me rent the UFC tapes. I was maybe, it's 1990. I don't know if it was 93 or 94 when I got my hands on the
93, I
tape.
think.
But in like 93, I was, 8 years old. So it's not really,
That's like,
especially the way the UFC was marketed back then, it wasn't really something you were supposed to watch. But whenever Ken Shamrock debuted in the WWF, that's when I became aware of the UFC. That's really when me, Dave, little kid, maybe 9, 10 years old, was like, oh, what is this UFC thing? And then I wanted to watch it because Ken Shamrock was in it. So I rented some UFC tapes. But back at Video Daisy, you remember that, AJ? You lived in NDG. It was on the corner of Beaconsfield and Sherbrooke. Video Daisy.
oh my God, do you remember the name of that place though?
Yeah,
Wow.
well, I was.
I'm impressed.
I used to live on that street, so.
I didn't go there. I went to the good stuff. I went to Video Roma, which was down in in Villa Mart. That was the only time where they could rent like porn to all kinds of like underage people. You didn't know that back then? Video Roma?
No, I was
Freddie.
8, AJ. I was 8.
Oh, sorry.
And when you were underage, I
Antoinette
was
knows
not
what I'm
born.
talking about. What?
Well, roughly, right?
Well, technically, yeah, it could be. But, anyways, how do we get to this? We're all talking about Conor. Conor
AJ's
has no
porn
idea of,
collection. How much VHS porn did you have to get rid of, AJ? Aljamain Sterling's going to fight Petr Yan. That's something that's happening. UFC 256 in December as the co-main event. Apparently, the main event of that one is going to be Megan Anderson challenging Amanda Nunes for the title there. It's all right, I guess.
Yeah, it's all right. Yeah, no, it's good, but
yeah. How hyped are you for that pay-per-view? On a scale of 1 to 10. I'm going to put myself at a 1.
No, come on, Dave.
Okay, 2.
Look, I haven't missed
fair.
Why?
Petr Yan versus Sterling is a great fight, man. I mean,
yeah, that's going to be a good one.
Fights, man.
It's all right.
Be positive, Dave.
As far as UFC pay-per-view, no. I'm sorry, Fred. In a week from Saturday, we have Khabib Nurmagomedov fighting Justin Gaethje in the main event of a UFC pay-per-view. Now you're telling me the main event of the December pay-per-view is Megan Anderson and Amanda Nunes? Huh?
Greatest female fighter ever.
Yeah, but who's Megan Anderson?
True.
And I'll tell you who Megan Anderson is.
Next in line.
Megan Anderson is next in line to get smashed and beat up by Amanda Nunes. And none of them are big draws. Nunes, I like. She's a great fighter and all, but there's no opponents for her. Her fights aren't big and important, and they don't draw because the last big fight she had was Cyborg, and then Cyborg fucked off to Bellator. It's not fun with Amanda because she's beat everybody, and now the people they throw at her are just so beneath her. I can't get excited for these fights. I can't get hyped for the Megan Anderson fight.
So she's too good.
She's too good.
You're hating on her because she's too good, man.
Yeah, no, I'm hating on. I'm hating on the division. I'm hating on the division for being so weak that I just don't want to buy the pay-per-view. I'm not interested.
At some point, the
middleweight
division with Anderson Silva at some point was a little bit like that, where nobody was there and some challengers emerged over time.
No,
and look, we're a little bit back there now today,
where
Adesanya is dominating.
I fully disagree.
The girls aren't as known.
No. Anderson Silva, the way he won fights was amazing.
What about Amanda Nunes?
Look,
she's not amazing.
You see the Jermain Durandamy fight? Was that amazing? She beat her by decision. It was okay.
You've seen the Talis latest fight?
Yeah, all right. Fine.
The Damian Maia fight?
Yeah, but what is Amanda Nunes that equals the Vitor Belfort kick to the face that Anderson did? What is Amanda Nunes?
Ronda Rousey.
She knocked out Ronda and Cyborg.
Better.
But she's not Anderson, man. I don't know. There was something about the way Anderson fought that it was different with Anderson Silva. There was more of a mystique.
But you think about Anderson Silva, you think about a fight where he almost lost, like to Chael Sonnen, and you think about that fight, and you're like, you realize how great Anderson Silva was.
Yeah.
To come out of that and close the man down in less than a minute to go, where he would have lost. He would have lost the crown.
And then when he fought him again,
just does it.
When he fought him again, he smashed him to pieces. He destroyed him. There was just something about Anderson, and he had that fight with Chael, where Chael was like a big challenge, a big draw. It's just Amanda Nunes. If she was fighting Cyborg, I'd be hyped for that. But if they said it's Cyborg Nunes 2, December 12th, UFC 256, I'd be like, yeah, sign me up. But Megan Anderson, okay. I don't see her as much of a challenge for Amanda right now.
But you're talking about Cyborg, and she's fighting tonight in Bellator at 10 p.m. But, during the week in her interview, she's like, oh, I like to fight Amanda again. But how's that going to happen? How will this happen if it ever does happen? It only can happen if Amanda loses and ends up in Bellator for some reason. But when you think about it, man, there's not too many exciting fighters.
I mean, for the same reason,
right, this is not an exciting fight.
There's nobody for Amanda Nunes, and Megan Anderson is 3-2 in the UFC. Her last loss was getting submitted by Felicia Spencer. And if you don't know who Felicia Spencer is, she's the girl that got the shit kicked out of her by Amanda Nunes over 5 rounds in her last fight.
Look, I'm not arguing. It's a shitty matchup. There's nobody left for Amanda to fight. I'm just saying it still deserves to be she still deserves to be a main eventer. I mean, Amanda Nunes is a great fighter. And as far as Petr Yan versus Aljamain Sterling, if you tell me Petr Yan, Aljamain Sterling, or Amanda Nunes, who has like the most name recognition right now, it's probably Amanda Nunes.
Probably, but that says a lot about Petr Yan and Aljamain Sterling. I think that's a more compelling matchup for me as a fight fan. That's a fight where I'm like, okay, that's going to be tough to pick. The odds will be close, you know. With Amanda Nunes, she's going to come in as a huge favorite and she'll win. With Petr Yan, he'll probably come in as a small favorite and he might lose. You know, like that's a tough fight. That's an interesting fight. Nunes and Anderson just doesn't do it for me as a year-end pay-per-view main event, but, you know, whatever. Khabib is better, is what I'm saying. And we've had much better pay-per-view main events this year. You know, Israel Adesanya, Paulo Costa, like that was a big-time main event. That was major. This is, you know, we had DC Stipe 3, you know. This is not that.
Of course. But I don't think Amanda would back down from anybody. So I'm not going to blame her for not fighting Cyborg again. It's probably more on the UFC for not signing Cyborg. Yeah. But if anything, also, she knocked out Cyborg. So if Khabib doesn't see a reason to fight McGregor again, I mean, Amanda would fight Cyborg mostly because there's a lack of competition. But she has nothing to prove against Cyborg. She pretty much like proved what she had to prove against her already.
Who do you like?
Give some love to Amanda.
All right. Who do you like in that Aljamain Petr Yan fight?
Petr Yan.
Yeah?
I don't know. I kind of like Petr Yan.
I'm going with Sterling. I think he wins. What do you think? It's still a ways away.
Petr Yan.
Give me, Petr Yan. All right.
Yeah,
okay.
Absolutely. Come on, Dave.
How about absolutely. Khamzat Chimaev. Absolutely.
Hey, man, let's not forget last weekend. Who was on top of the game?
Fred.
Right here. No, because I got the main card right. So, guys, let's not forget. So,
Fred,
when I say Petr Yan,
we
listen
were
to
both
me if you
3
want
and
to make
2
some...
for the main card.
Yeah, you and Fred actually tied for the main card 3 and 2.
No. I got the main card. I called Sanhagen while you guys didn't want to listen
It's called
to
the
me.
main event.
People that listen to
It's called the main event.
Not the main card, AJ. The main card is the main
Well, the main
card.
event.
Not too many people
the main
listen
event.
to you.
Main event. Yeah,
Well, if you would have
Because
listened to
overall,
AJ,
they'd
you would have
be
made some
losing.
money.
Yeah, all
You would have
right.
made some Connor dough, man.
1 week out of 6.
Yeah, this is your first winning week, by the way, in so long. You've done so poorly on your picks. Finally, last week you go 3 and 2. Let's not forget the last pay-per-view, which really the pay-per-view picks are what really matter, where you went 0 for 5 at UFC 254 or 253. 0 for 5 on the last pay-per-view, and I went 4 and 1.
I told you, lightning does not strike 3 times.
Yeah, well, you also went like 1 and 4 on the next card and like 1 and 4 on the card after that. So you've been doing pretty terribly, and you eke by a 3-2 win on the night, and you just brag forever.
Main
there you go. You know what it's
event.
called now.
Sanhagen.
There you go. Yeah.
Main card, main event. You made money with AJ.
No, you didn't.
It's okay, guys. You can
Sanhagen's a good fighter still. I said it last week.
Yeah, he's very good. He looked great against Marlon Moraes, man. That was really impressive.
Jesus.
He looked amazing, and I think I think he's going to be a real threat at 135. I don't know if he gets next, but he's in the conversation, right? I know he wanted to fight like Uriah Faber or something, right? Or Frankie Edgar.
Really?
Or, you don't know. He wanted to fight one of those guys. I think he wanted to fight Frankie Edgar, which, yeah, sure. Why not? Have him beat Edgar and then wait for the winner of Sterling and Yan. But I think Sanhagen Edgar would be a good fight, but I think Sanhagen wins that one too. He looks really good, and he's a young guy. He's 28 years old, 28, just coming into his prime. You know, in MMA, he's looked very good recently, and he looked great in that fight against Marlon. But AJ, like, you're bragging so much, but you took Makwan Amirkhani to beat Edson Barbosa, and that was a terrible pick. So Keep bragging.
That was the
that was
the
the
worst pick of the night.
Yeah, it was the worst pick of the night, AJ. Good job.
Listen,
Edson
at least
clearly was going to beat. Clearly, Edson was going to win that fight. Freddie and I both picked him, and you were just like, no, Makwan. It's like, come on, AJ.
Listen, I was on my knees praying that Makwan would submit him or do something. I was like,
yeah, right.
Don't get in the pot. Like, just get in, do something, like submit him. But you know what? Yeah, he lost the unanimous decision. And you know, I didn't think Barboza was going to come out that strong. I thought it was going to be like really, to the ground and a submission win by Makwan, but it didn't happen. So AJ was wrong on that one.
Let's see how you do on these fights this weekend, AJ. Let's get your picks for the fights coming up. Brian Ortega, T-City, takes on Chan Sung Jung, the Korean Zombie. I'll give you a little help here, AJ. I'll give you the odds.
No, I know the odds.
Zombie minus 180.
The odds.
Zombie minus 185, the favorite. Ortega plus 160, the underdog.
I'm surprised about that.
Yeah, what? You going with Ortega?
Yeah, I got Ortega all along.
Huh.
Listen, man, the favorite, like Freddie, leading up to this fight, man, the Korean Zombie is the favorite. Like on all betting sites, he's like the favorite to win this through. Yeah. They're giving a lot of I guess opportunity for him to win. But let's not forget.
People are forgetting how impressive.
How good.
Yeah, Ortega was super impressive before that loss to Holloway. Like, Ortega was, a lot of people thought he was going to be the next champ. So, like, I think Chan Sung Jung is a warrior. He always offers us great fights, and this is probably going to be a super fun fight to watch. Both guys are exciting and aggressive in their fighting style. But I'm going with Ortega, and I'm going to go maybe Ortega. Like, Chan Sung Jung's never been submitted, but it might be the first time he gets submitted. I'm going to take a chance. Ortega by submission.
Look, and the thing is that they're giving him favor to the Korean Zombie is because of his striking. But let's not forget that Ortega has like 3 knockout wins. Even though he got knocked out, he only has 1 loss. And like Freddie said, this guy was like to be the future champion. And I thought that, and I still think that. The guy is impressive. Everybody can have a bad day. His bad day was with Holloway, and that's it. And I think, you know what, if you're going to be betting on this fight, go with Ortega, because I think Ortega's going to win. And there's a lot of bad blood between the two, because Ortega, if you remember, slapped out the translator of the Korean Zombie, who's some kind of like rap artist king in Korea, who does the translation for the Korean Zombie. And Ortega was like totally upset and slapped him out in like, I think the hotel or whatnot. But there's bad blood getting into this, and Ortega wants to make a statement. He needs to make a statement if he's going to get that run for the belt again. Which
I don't know, man.
He was going to get way back.
I didn't like the way Ortega looked in the title fight. He looked bad. Like it didn't look right. I don't know what happened on that night. It didn't look like the ordinary Brian Ortega. But he hasn't fought since then, and that was like 2 years ago.
December 2018.
It's a long time.
That's how long ago it was.
It's a long time.
Absolutely.
Especially for a young fighter who doesn't have that much experience. Like, let's not forget, Brian Ortega only has 15 pro fights. And then he took 2 years off.
Look,
so I don't know. Like, I wonder what kind of Brian Ortega actually shows up on Saturday. I wonder what he looks like in 2020. We haven't seen him for a while. We saw the Korean Zombie in December of last year, and he looked great against Frankie Edgar. Like, he smoked Frankie Edgar. And I've been really impressed with the Korean Zombie. He's got a very solid chin. He's very well-rounded. He's tough. And I don't know if he's ever looked better than he has in his past couple of fights. I feel like he's turned a corner, and he's better than ever. I'm going to go with the odds makers. I'm going to go with Korean Zombie, but I could see it go in Ortega's way as well. I think Ortega's a little bit unknown right now, just because we haven't seen him in so long. It's hard to predict what Ortega's really going to be. And I really liked what I've seen from Korean Zombie lately. His past couple of fights, man, he looked amazing. So I'm going with the Zombie.
But, but there's a lot of factors, too, because you got Ortega that's going into this fight without really having a head coach. And like I told you earlier, Renner Gracie is not going to be at that fight because he does have COVID. So when you don't have like your head coach to really direct you at times when, unlike some guys that don't think they need a coach, you need a coach. And that's the thing, so he's not going to be there. Is that going to be a big factor? Not really. But you know what? If Ortega's in trouble, he'll need Renner, and Renner won't be there. So you know what? That can be maybe a reason to look like towards the Korean Zombie. But you know what? Like I said, the Korean Zombie has everything, but Ortega, just had a bad night with Holloway. And like you said, there was something wrong with him. Even when he walked into the ring, something was off.
Well,
but
I'm going with.
We always say that.
I'm going with Zombie by knockout.
Whoa.
What do you got?
Which is a possibility.
Ortega by?
I've got Ortega by submission.
All right. Fred's got a decision. AJ's got submission. I've got Zombie by knockout. AJ, mark it down, make a graphic, send it out, do the thing that you do. Jessica Andrade taking on Caitlin Chukagian in the co-main event. AJ's always like, guys, send me your picks. Send me your picks. All right, there you go, AJ. We're giving you our picks right now, okay?
I don't got it now. That's the thing. I can't find my pen.
It's okay. You can just
usually
watch
I
the
have
show
1,000
again.
pens, but when you need one, you can't find. Yeah, good point.
Watch the show again later, AJ. It'll be fine.
It'll up the rating.
We need that. What else do we got? Andrade.
I heard you today. Fred. Dave. I heard
What'd
you
I say?
getting upset at your other shows because, you like the money and, it's good. Like, when we make the money, you don't think I hear you guys, eh?
Oh, you were watching Irreparable Damage today.
Yes. And you got all, crazy on the poor guy, man. But,
What do you mean?
You're like,
Look.
well, when you started saying, our other shows bring money and this show
That's right.
brings us nothing and, I got to rethink it and whatnot.
That's right.
Listen, dude, you know what?
You think I do
Sometimes
these
it's not
shows
all
for my
about the
health?
money.
You think I do these shows for my health? Come on. You think these lights pay for themselves? You think these pay-per-views pay for themselves? Do you think those fancy Conor McGregor dolls pay for themselves? I don't think so, AJ.
I think your
Poor guy,
irreparable damage needs somebody like me and AJ to bring a little more
Oh yeah,
crazy
Flavor.
to the show.
I agree.
like a little Ben
Flavor.
and Jerry's, chunky monkey flavor.
You guys
want to?
You guys want to be on the next show? You can be on the next show. One of you could be on the next show.
It depends on what the topic. No,
I don't
both
care.
of us, man. Because
Joey
it
picks the
depends on the
topics.
topic.
Joey picks a topic,
Pick something cool, like something
which is great
something
for
with
me.
like something related to Halloween. Why don't you do something with Halloween and?
All right.
Halloween's gonna happen.
You see, he said he's going to Florida in 2 weeks. He's crazy.
Who's that?
Giuseppe.
Who's going to Florida? Yeah. Why?
Yeah.
Does he have family out there?
No, he's going
Is
to
he going to vote?
He's going to vacation on South Beach with his boyfriend.
But he can't. You're not allowed to.
He's doing it.
Now he stopped. Oh, he stopped now for sure.
Watch
you said
the
it.
show.
Oof.
Watch the show. Go to. Oh, he's gonna love this. All right, I'm gonna do a plug.
I'm starting to like him now.
Oh yeah, no, I'm telling you, he's like super conservative, Fred. You would like him a lot. He's a very conservative man. I'm telling you. Here, go to.
Pro weed.
Yeah, for sure. Who do you think got me those drinks? Okay, look at this. Go to this show, irreparabledamageshow.com, and you can see me going bananas. This morning, I went full bananas on the show. All right,
you were a little angry there.
I
You
was a
needed
little
Snickers,
angry.
man.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
it was
you needed
early in the
Snickers big
morning.
time.
I hadn't had my coffee yet, and, sometimes I get a little upset when the shows aren't doing what they need to do. Thankfully, this
It's
show.
not like me and Freddie don't know.
You and Freddie know, and you and Freddie always bring it. You and Freddie always bring it, and the Ringside Report universe is always strong and always there, and always subscribing when we ask them to subscribe. Always liking the video when we ask them to like the video. The Ringside Report universe, the Wrestling Uncensored universe. You guys are strong. You guys support the cause. You guys keep us going, right? Support the sponsors. You do all that stuff. The Irreparable Damage universe, bunch of cheapskates over there, all right? Irreparable Damage universe needs to get it together. What happened?
What happened there? Did you just knock us off?
I don't know. I lost my guys.
What the hell?
I didn't do that.
Jesus.
Somebody else did that.
That's probably your...
I think they were
I
just
don't know,
tired
man.
of looking
Maybe it's
at
the
you.
show.
People are tired of looking at you, AJ. Not Fred. They have to bring it back because Fred.
Been there.
Wait a second, Fred. We need Fred. Been there, yeah, AJ. How many times did you get kicked out of your house? Yeah, too many times to count.
Can't even begin.
Neil Magny's gonna fight Khamzat Chimaev probably. Neil
really?
stepped up and looks like he's going to fight Khamzat. Wait.
Wow,
We're doing a preview. AJ, you keep derailing my fucking previews.
It wasn't me, man. It was you, man.
Was it me?
You were talking about, Caitlin Shogagian.
Yeah.
And then you started talking about something else, and then,
I'm off my game tonight. I'm all over the place tonight, I meant to do the preview for this at the beginning of the show. That's how off my game I am for the Yeah. The plan was we start the show with the UFC preview and then we'll move on to everybody else. Mm-hmm. And then I don't know what happened. So we're here.
AJ gave us a downer. I forgot for what.
Yes. AJ was
that's true.
AJ was a bummer, and then we started talking about other things, and it just went to shit. Something happened with Joe Biden.
Then Freddie cheered me up, and then you know what? It was all uphill from there.
Okay.
And my win of
so I got Caitlin.
Reminded me of
I'm going with the underdog.
Thank you, Fred.
That's an underdog. No.
Caitlin's a dog. I'm going the other way. Yeah. I got Jessica Andrade.
Dave.
Fred, AJ. She comes off that split decision loss to Rose Namajunas. A close fight with Rose. I think Jessica is still one of the top 125ers in the world. Caitlin's good, but I don't think she's going to be able to hang with Andrade. I got Andrade by decision.
Dave, let's not forget she has a 6-inch reach, and as a striker, if she keeps this game standing, it's going to be lights out, man. Jessica Andrade is an awesome fighter, but if you're going to go with the underdogs, this is a card to pick those underdogs. They're coming out, and I'm surprised they're that. To be honest, I'm surprised she's an underdog in this fight.
I don't think Caitlin's going to want to mix it up with Jessica, man. Jessica's too powerful. It's gonna be bad. If Jessica gets on the inside, she's gonna put a hurting on her. I don't think Caitlin has the power to hurt Jessica Andrade, and I think Jessica has the power to hurt Caitlin. I see Jessica as a much stronger fighter.
She's got 8 inches of height also on Jessica, so I think that's gonna come into play. But yeah. Jessica loves to box close, so if she manages the distance, she'll be dangerous. But I'm going with Caitlin. I think she's going to pull off the upset by decision.
Well, guys, if height and reach meant so much, Stefan Struve would never lose, okay? And he lost a shit ton of times.
I mean, he does have a win against Stipe.
Yeah, okay, but a bunch of short dudes knocked him unconscious, okay? A bunch of short, stocky dudes like Mark Hunt knocked his jaw into another planet, right?
I mean,
wasn't it Mark Hunt
does that to a lot of people?
Yeah, I know, but he's a short, stocky guy, and Stefan Struve was 7 feet tall, had tons of reach, didn't mean shit when the fight came down to it. Okay, Jimmy Croot, minus 310. I don't know who either of these guys are, but I like this other guy, his opponent, Modestas Bukauskas. Modestas
cool
Bukauska. Where is this guy from, Modestas? What is that name? Is that Greek?
Sounds
Lithuanian?
Greek. He's Baltic. Yeah, he's from the Baltics. So he's actually called the Baltic Gladiator.
Lithuanian!
He's
Holy
on a
shit!
7-fight winning streak.
Yo, I looked him up.
Yeah, man.
He's Lithuanian. I had no idea. That was a guess. Yo, I am good at names. I was like, Greek or Lithuanian? Turns out he's Lithuanian. The Baltic Gladiator. Modestas Bukauskas. Lithuanian sensation, baby. He's riding a 7 fight win streak into this one. 1-0 in the UFC. Modestas Bukauskas. I'm going with Modestas Bukauskas. I don't really know who his opponent is. I know Modestas is a huge underdog, but I just like saying Modestas Bukauskas.
Look, Croot is coming off a win, right?
So
he only has one loss, which was coming off last September. His only loss.
He lost to Misha Shirkunov, who's good,
and
but
the odds maker,
he's no Modestas Bukauskas.
You like that name? The Baltic Gladiator?
I got Jimmy.
Boo.
You got Jimmy.
I got plus 255. Modestas Bukauskas. I love it.
Like I said, this is going to be one of those cards where the underdogs are coming through. So I'm going to agree with you, Dave.
Modestas
I'm going to go with the Baltic Gladiator.
Modestas.
He's very modest, by the way.
Modestas
Very
Bukauskas. You know, like Du Hast. You know what I'm saying? Come on, guys. Modestas. Modestas Bukauskas. Modestas Bukauskas. All right.
They would have been better than it. No,
I'm going with him. He has to come out the Du Hast, too. You know that song, Du Hast, by Rammstein? AJ doesn't know what I'm talking about. Fred, you don't know what I'm talking about either?
I do, actually.
Seriously?
Of course I know that, man. Yeah, I do know that.
AJ, you know the song. Sing it. Sing it for me.
My buddy, my buddy.
Du hast mich. You know? Du hast mich. You know? They're German.
I know that song. My buddy
Awesome.
Martin has a bar in Spain right now. That was
Rammstein.
that was his song all the time. Yeah, Rammstein.
Du hast. And then they had that other song, We All Live in America. America is wunderbar. That was a good one. Rammstein. You guys don't know Rammstein? Tremendous.
Who's that?
Fred,
Borat?
how do you
what?
not know Rammstein? I'm really surprised, Fred. I thought you would know Rammstein. Everybody knows Du Hast. No, it's Stein.
Dude, it's Rammstein.
They're German, bro.
No,
It's Stein.
No. It's
Rammstein.
Rammstein.
Bro, I know about Rammstein, okay? I know their other song other than Du Hast, so you know that I go deep with them, all right? You couldn't name couldn't name two Rammstein songs. Yeah, I go deep in Rammstein, bro, okay? Deep. Khamzat loves Rammstein. He's fighting Neil Magny. Oh, let's finish the preview, guys. Let's finish the preview. I just want to talk about Khamzat.
Who's up next?
And Modestas Bukauskas. Modestas. Claudio Silva takes on James Krauss.
Krauss.
Krauss is good. Krauss got good jiu-jitsu. Minus 155 the favorite Krauss. Silva plus 135 the dog. AJ, Freddie has got Krauss by something. Whatever. Krauss by whatever. AJ, who do you have?
Yeah, I took Krauss as well on this one.
By whatever. Yo, Claudio Silva is 14-1 and 38 years old. What is going on with this guy? What's his problem? Why is he so old yet so good at MMA? You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't make sense.
George is 40. Here's George.
No, but George has won
like,
things.
He's gonna fight Khabib.
No, but George has won things. George is a multiple-time world champion in mixed martial arts. This guy Claudio Silva, 14-1 as a pro. He's won 13 in a row. I'm starting to rethink.
Took 4 years off.
Yeah, what's this guy's deal? Maybe he's a jiu-jitsu guy. Is he a jiu-jitsu guy?
After beating Leon Edwards, he took 4 years off to fight Nordic.
To rethink his life? Ooh. Yep.
I mean,
weird.
Who knows? Maybe Claudio.
I'm going with Claudio, man.
Cross.
I'm going with 38-year-old, 14-1 Claudio Silva. I know he's the underdog, but like, there's something about this guy. I like the idea that he's 38 and he's like very good. I mean, he's won 13 straight, Fred. How could you go against this guy? I'm going with Claudio Silva, the Brazilian. And AJ, you should go with him too, because you know where he moved right when he left Brazil? Your favorite.
No.
Italy.
Really?
Yeah, so he's like Claudio, you know? So I'm going with Silva, plus 135 the dog. I got Silva. Fred's going with Krauss. AJ, you going with Krauss? Or are you going to go with your Italian-Brazilian friend?
I think I'm going to stick with Krauss on this one.
Okay. Thomas Almeida.
I want to start flip-flopping, Dave. You know that game. I don't do that stuff.
I love it. I'm flip-flopping all day, every day. Okay? Thomas Almeida takes on Jonathan Martinez. Almeida is the favorite, minus 135. Martinez plus 115. The underdog. This one fought at 145. Thomas Almeida, 29 years old, Brazilian. He's lost 3 of his last 4, including losing 2 in a row. Jonathan Martinez, 26 years old, from Melbourne, Australia. He has won 3 of his last 4. Won his last fight by TKO over Frankie Sainz. So he's won more, but he is the underdog. Martinez has won more, but he's coming in as a slight underdog here to Thomas Almeida.
Almeida's
Almeida has
almost
21
on
pro
a,
wins.
What's
yeah,
that,
but he's
AJ?
been off for
It's-
almost 3 years.
Yeah, Almeida's
but
last
the
fight was
guys had-
January 2018.
But through his career, the guy's had 21 pro fights, 21 pro wins, and he's had 17 of those by knockout. So the guy is like somebody not to overlook.
Yeah.
And to be honest, this is a pick'em fight. It's really hard to say, but if you have to look at the stats that were in front of me, I mean, you would have to go with Almeida.
I would have to
I'm
go the
going with
other way.
I'm going with Almeida. I was high on him at some point, but recent years he's been very inactive and, like you say, lost 3 of his last 4. But I remember a couple of years ago when he was coming up the ranks, I was high on him. So I'm going to pick Almeida. I don't know much about Martinez, honestly.
Almeida was 20-0 before he ran into Cody Garbrandt, got knocked out by Cody Garbrandt in 2016, came back, beat Albert Morales by TKO, then lost to Jimmy Rivera by decision, lost to Rob Font by TKO, and hasn't fought since, and that was way back in January of 2018. I don't like that. I don't like that for a fighter to be taking that much time off after losses like that. I don't see a comeback fight as a positive. Like, I don't see him doing that well. Like, you look at his big wins in the UFC, he beat Yves Jabouin and Brad Pickett, 2 fighters that are now retired. Like, those are his biggest wins in the UFC. So, I don't know, man. When your big wins are against retired guys, I start to think that maybe your time has passed too. So, I know that Almeida's only 29, but I just don't see it, man. So, he's got to prove it to me.
But
We'll see, but I'm going with Martinez, slight underdog, plus 115. He seems more active and more into the fight game than Thomas Almeida right now.
Well, I'll give you another plus for Martinez. He's never been knocked out. So if that's another factor to pick him, it's a big plus. But again, I'm sticking to my pick, and it's Almeida for the win.
All right. Well,
Fight
there you
decision.
go. My picks, I'm going with Jonathan Martinez, and AJ and Fred both going with Thomas Almeida. I like it. I'm going with Claudio Silva, and I think you guys are both going with James Krauss, right? Or Fred,
Yep.
did you? No, you're going with Krauss. I'm going with Modestas Bukauskas, and you guys are going with Jimmy Croot. I'm going with Jessica Andrade. I think. Are you guys both going with Caitlin Chukagian?
Yep.
Holy shit. And I've got Chan Sung Jung, and you guys are both going with Korean Zombie. So I picked against both of you guys.
No.
No?
We're going with Ortega.
I got
I'm going with
Ortega.
Ortega.
Yeah, that's what I said. I got Korean Zombie, and you guys
said-
both. Oh, I said the other way? Okay, well, I got
You said
Zombie.
twice.
Don't try to
Korean
flip-flop,
Zombie.
Dave.
Okay, sorry. Okay, sorry. Show's been long. It's a long day. Sorry. You guys both have Ortega. I have the Zombie. So I am picking against you guys. You guys are together on all the fights, which Fred, okay, you're going with AJ on every fight, just so you know. Like, it's not
I think
gonna go
AJ's
well.
just like, if we listen back to the show, I made the early picks always. I think AJ's just jumping on my bandwagon. He's happy that he's happy that he went 3-2 last week like me. That's what AJ aims. He aims to be at my level.
No, listen, we went 3-2, but I ended up winning like the marathon because I got the main
Oh my God.
event.
0-5 on the
that's
last
okay.
UFC pay-per-view. 0-5 at UFC 253,
that's Rob's
AJ.
fault. That's
Never
Rob's
forget.
fault, because
That's
Rob-
you. That's
No,
you,
no, no,
AJ.
I give
That's
Rob
all
a
you.
favor.
So I've got everybody that you guys don't have on Saturday night, which I love. I think it'll make for an interesting Saturday night. We'll be talking a lot of trash to each other. You guys like the Magny-Khamzat fight? That's a good fight, right, for Khamzat at this stage of the game, Neil Magny? That makes sense.
I mean,
Yeah, should be
I liked it
interesting.
at the beginning. Like, it's a decent fight, but they could have got something a little better. Like, the way he's been so impressive. Like, is Neil Magny a tougher challenge than Damian Maia? I mean, it's a similar type of fighter, or I don't know. I was hoping a little bit better. But it's a decent fight. I'll watch it.
I think it's a good challenge for Khamzat to see where he's at. Magny's won 3 in a row. He beat Robbie Lawler in his last fight. Like, I think Magny is one of the tougher welterweights out there. It'll give us a good indication of where Khamzat really is. I think the Maia fight, I think Maia's just a little too old at this point, and he's just kind of on the downturn of his career. I didn't want to see him get knocked unconscious because he kind of loved Damian Maia. But, you like Neil Magny. You don't care that much about Neil Magny. He's 33. He's not a legend of the sport. If he gets knocked unconscious by Khamzat, nobody's going to cry any tears. I mean, maybe Magny's like mom and kids or whatever, but MMA fans in general.
So brutal, man.
Well, I think, most MMA fans like Damian Maia a little bit more than Neil Magny. No disrespect to Neil Magny. I like him. I think he's a great fighter. But, come on, Damian Maia, man. Even Neil Magny would admit, Damian Maia is more beloved in MMA than he is. It's just the way it is, man. It's people like Joe Rogan more than they like me. It is what it is. It's okay. I'm not mad about it.
No. That's not true, Dave. No. There's other people that
more
say
people
the
hate Joe Rogan than they hate me, but also more people know Joe Rogan than know me. So, it is what it is, okay? It's fine.
Yeah, but I'm going to tell you something. What people don't realize, and I say this all the time.
Here we go.
Joe Rogan didn't ask the question to GSP's retirement like you did, and that went viral. So that's the difference between you and Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan is quite quiet nowadays with his $100 million.
It's not the $100 million contract. That's not the difference.
That's not the difference. It's not the
difference. I mean,
Joe Rogan doesn't go viral. I go viral. Forget Joe Rogan going viral.
Exactly.
That doesn't happen.
Dave Simon went viral. They even made a cartoon out of Dave's question. So that's the difference, Dave.
Because I smoked weed with Elon Musk on my show, right? This happened on our show, Ringside Report. We smoked weed with Elon. That happened here. That was us?
No.
That wasn't us? Shit.
No, I think that was with Elias Theodorou, but that's close enough.
Oh, yeah, we did that. You know what? Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Elon Musk, Elias Theodorou. I mean, they both invented cars, I think, so we're good. Elias did tell that. Elias, I'm saying it like you. Elias did tell that great story about how he fell off a car and wound up unconscious, and then when he woke up, he was in some beautiful lady's bed, and I was like, "What the hell was that?" It's a weird story.
Yeah.
But it seems like it was a true story. Yeah, it was a good one. I like.
You can see it on Donnybrook, by the way.
All right.
That whole interview, you can see it on Donnybrook.
Okay. Or Ringside Report.
What?
Cyril Gain is off his fight. He was gonna fight this week. Cyril Gain, our buddy, the heavyweight, was gonna fight this weekend at UFC Fight Island, but the fight got canceled because his opponent had some sort of contractual issue. Ante Dalia had some sort of deal with the PFL, and the PFL said they still had him under contract, and he didn't think that he was still under contract, but he is under contract, so apparently the fight is not happening. So Cyril Gain, a guy who we've been wanting to see, is not going to get his chance to knock out another poor, unsuspecting fool.
Listen, man, that's not fair. And in the end, apparently, I don't know how people can oversee certain things like this, especially guys in the UFC with, they have numerous lawyers and whatnot. You have a guy that comes and has a contract that he thinks expired February 2nd with the PFL. How can you have not, realized that there was an issue? I mean, doesn't this shit come up beforehand, not a week before the fight is supposed to take place? Cyril Gain has, trained like crazy, spent a lot of money in his training camp, and here he is to fight, and really he's a future prospect in the heavyweight division. And once again, COVID took him down, in the early days, and then COVID took out another one of his opponents, and now here he is, a contract takes him out. And it's such bad luck for Cyril, and you know what, it's unfair. But to be honest, I think the biggest thing that's the problem here is how people in the legal team of the UFC didn't see this prior to a week before the fight happening. It just doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense.
I don't know, I didn't read the story at all, but did Bellator file an injunction, maybe, and that's why, not Bellator, I mean PFL.
Probably.
Because if you remember a long time ago when Mayorga was supposed to fight, I think, Tim Sylvia or something like that, it got canceled at the last minute because the boxing promoter waited to the last minute to file an injunction. So,
and remember Rampage, too? There was a deal with him, and he was trying to fight in the UFC, and he was still under contract with Bellator. That was a weird one. There was an injunction filed, but then the UFC fought it, and they still got Rampage to fight, but then it turned out he was still under contract with Bellator, so he had to go back to Bellator. That was a weird deal there with Rampage.
But think about this here. You got Ante, who has this contract that apparently expired, but according to the PFL, they extended his contract for 2 more seasons. So here you have a fighting establishment that hasn't fought the whole year and probably won't be fighting again in 2021. So you have a guy that's on contract that can't fight. You're taking away his bread and butter. You're making the PFL look like a bunch of yahoos. And in the end, this guy has to come and fight for your organization. It doesn't make sense. It really doesn't. And in the end, it doesn't look good for PFL. It definitely doesn't look good for the UFC to really be on top of things legally. And you know what? The biggest loser out of this is Ciryl Gane and the fans, because this guy is amazing, and it's just unfortunate. I think the
biggest loser out of this is Ante whatever, who had the contract with the PFL. Ciryl Gane, he's okay. He's going to be able to fight again for the UFC. This Ante guy might be stuck in contract limbo for a while, so I think he's actually the biggest loser out of this. But, it's unfortunate, but these contract things happen. But, if I'm a PFL fighter, I would try to get out of that contract so I could go fight in the UFC, because they're the only ones actually putting fights on and paying money to fighters to fight. Bellator and the UFC are the only two fight promotions, major fight promotions, that are putting on fights, that are paying people big money. PFL, they're not putting on fights, and they're keeping people under contract. That seems kind of shitty. If the guy wanted to fight in the UFC and PFL had him under contract, I would let him go to go fight in the UFC. Come on, PFL.
Sure.
Not very cool. Speaking of other fight promotions, Bellator doing a card tonight. Tonight, Chris Cyborg will be taking on Arlene Blenko. This one for the Bellator women's featherweight title. Cyborg is the champion. She's coming in as a, get ready, minus 1275 favorite.
Jeez.
Minus 1,500, minus 1,800 at some sports books. She is a gigantic favorite, and, no shit, Bellator doesn't have anybody to actually fight Cyborg and give her a challenge. Fred?
Crazy, man.
I thought you were saying something, Fred.
What do you want me to say?
I don't know.
You're
right, Dave. You're right, Dave. Yeah, that's right. Patricky Pitbull takes on Jaleel Willis in the co-main event. Ricky Bandejas against Leandro Higo. And Saad Awad takes on Canadian fighter. I think he's Montreal-based. Mandel Nallo. I think he trains out of the TriStar gym. Mandel, Canadian guy. He's going to be fighting on the first fight at 10 p.m. in about 15 minutes, I guess, on that Bellator card, on the main card, a Thursday night Bellator show. In a couple weeks, it's the Bellator show I actually give a shit about, because Gegard is fighting. Gegard Mousasi fighting Douglas Lima in 2 weeks at Bellator 250 on the 29th of October. That's going to be sick.
That'll be awesome.
Hell yeah. We'll watch that fight for sure. Maybe we'll even do like a watch-along or something after the Ringside Report. Ringside Report After Dark watch-along or something, AJ? I don't know. We'll talk. Freddie's out.
Get Johnny in.
Freddie's already out. He just gave me a look.
Johnny
He's
in
like,
the dark. What?
Johnny in the dark. Johnny in the dark. Just have darkness, Johnny. Disembodied voice.
Just his voice.
Yeah, exactly. That's it. So next weekend, okay, guys, we have a big watch-along. It's big. It's UFC 254. It's Khabib Nurmagomedov. It's Justin Gaethje. It's the pay-per-view of the fall. This is a big one. Khabib and Justin, Robert Whittaker, Jared Cannonier, the co-main event, Alexander Volkov and Walt Harris, and my man Magomed Ankalaev taking on Jan Kutalaba. That's the pay-per-view. It goes down 2 p.m. Eastern time. This is an afternoon show. Next Saturday afternoon. We've cleared our schedules. We've done it all. We're ready. We're going to do a watch-along, an afternoon watch-along right here next week.
Awesome,
I'm so pumped. I'm so pumped for the watch-along. I'm so pumped to watch Khabib and Justin Gaethje with all of you, with my buddies there, Freddie and AJ. I'm very excited, all right? Hey, Stefan Struve is fighting on that card. That's cool. I just talked about that guy. He's on the prelims. Umar Nurmagomedov is fighting on that card, too. Umar. Gotta love Umar.
You know what? This would be the perfect card. We were talking about Ciryl Gane. Like, he should be, like, on this card. It would have been awesome. Like, if any of these heavyweights get hurt between Stefan Struve or Tai Tuivasa, you put in Ciryl Gane to fight any one of these two guys.
I agree 100%. Got to give a shout-out to our sponsors, Manscaped. Go to manscaped.com. Use that promo code RINGSIDE20 for 20% off your order plus free shipping. IP Vanish. Go to vpn.ringsidereport.net. Support yourself on the internet. You need to protect yourself. You need to be safe. You need to use IP Vanish. It's a great VPN. It will protect you. Protect yourself at all times with IP Vanish. vpn.ringsidereport.net. And, of course, Stitcher. Go to Stitcher.com/premium. They've got over 100,000 podcasts, bonus episodes, comedy albums, and more over at Stitcher Premium. Great audio available over at Stitcher, not just the Ringside Report network of podcasts, but so much more. Stitcher.com/premium. Use that promo code Ringside when you sign up to get a free month of Stitcher Premium. Stitcher.com/premium. Promo code Ringside for a free month, and you support the Ringside Report network at the same time. We appreciate you supporting our sponsor. We also appreciate you supporting on the Super Chat. A big shout out to Patrick C. Hamilton out in Regina, Saskatchewan. Thank you for supporting us each and every week, Patrick. We appreciate you. Antoinette as well, one of our most loved and loyal out in Toronto. Thank you, Antoinette. And thank you to everybody watching, listening, whatever you're doing. For Freddie and AJ, go to ringsidereport.net. This has been Ringside Report MMA.